SINCA, sharing innovative and creative actions. That's for you. Hi, good evening. We're here at Chrysalis today and Friday, December the 6th. And together with me is Kani
Munidasa.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah. And he's a co-founder of this place. And this place has grown so rapidly, since I got to know them. And we're going to be talking a little bit about how the coding and all sorts of things has been developing here. So tell us a little bit about when you started and why and how is it going?
Sure. So we started our first class here in Motoazabu in 2017 July. Mm-hmm. So it's only been 2.5 years. This right now is the 10th class that we are doing. And we are a software engineering boot camp that also works on soft skills, not only the hard skills, and try to instill a growth mindset, a Silicon Valley-like mindset. Why Japan? I think when it comes to writing software, there's a lot to be learned.
Yes.
And even before learning how to write software, like the power of software is not extracted to this full potential here. It's been a country where the hardware has been so strong. They've continued to invest in this area, but I think times have come to both invest in software.
So how has the awareness of or the need for software grown here, or has it been
just in the last 2.5 years? I see the startup ecosystem really growing. So that's a great thing. A lot of people are doing a lot of different things and trying to disrupt and or solve problems using software. But it's not happening fast enough in my opinion. We need to accelerate that speed. Large companies have to figure out how to bring software development in-house so that they can run at startup speeds. Today, there's a tendency for Japanese companies to outsource their software development multiple layers down, and that means when you want to change even the color of something, it takes that long for it to come back.
Oh, I see.
In Silicon Valley, engineers are paid handsomely because they are able to bring value to the products, to the bottom line of the company, add new functions and features. So they're almost like magicians. They're almost as important as a sales team, or more important. In Japan, that realization is not there yet. There's a word dokata IT in Japan for a reason. I feel like it's just a number, like how many people we need to do this job, and you're outsourcing the work to somebody versus creating things in-house.
Why do you think they tend to outsource it? And rather than trying to develop them themselves?
Yeah, so couple of reasons, but one is they feel like software development is all about having an idea and then someone just building it. And they look at the engineers and building it as just a task. In reality, what's happening in the world is software engineering is done by teams in-house, and this team brings to the product different features and functionality that can add tremendous value back to the company. A lot of ideas are born this way, a lot of products are born this way. In Japan, there is like one guy who's an architect who believes he or she knows what the product needs to look like, and then you kind of outsource it. So that's one reason. Second reason, I think, and there was a survey on this too, IT industry has always looked at software as making something more efficient and nothing more. Whereas in the US, leaders that were interviewed in IT companies said software is all about adding more value and creating new services and opportunities. So that gap is huge. Even today, I don't find many leaders outside of IT and tech areas that understand the power of software.
So is there anything we could do to let them understand the value? Or is it something that they have been sort of developed and so accustomed to.
Sure. The traditional problem or situation where like when something's working, why fix it, right? So that's how they look at it. But digitization alone is lagging significantly in Japan. And I think once there are enough examples of how using software and how digitizing your processes has brought tremendous efficiency back into the business in terms of both resources saved and things speeding up, I think it will become more second nature. But I think it's going to take a little longer before everybody starts to see that value. The other reason I think is there's also, we still use fax machines, we still have flip phones, and I don't think it's because necessarily that people actually have an attachment to his like old things or historical things, and there's romance in it, there's art in it, and Japan embraces that side. So it's not coming from a bad place, but I think it's time to realize for us to advance, we have to adopt and adapt to using more technology in our day-to-day lives.
Do you think there's a fear factor? I mean, if you don't quite understand what it is, we tend to be sort of scared. We tend to be threatened.
Yeah.
I think that's what happens in a lot of areas in Japan.
There could be a fear factor, and I think that exists for all parts of the countries too. But I don't know if it's just the fear factor. I just feel like there's reluctance sometimes to change.
I see. Yeah, that's been known.
Yeah. If you're comfortable with it, so why change it?
Yes.
But the good news is I've seen many people who maybe like their phone broke and they had no option but to renew and get a smartphone. But when they do they're fast at learning and using it, and they see the value of it then. So I think maybe in the US, like the US market doesn't give you much of a selection either in things you buy. So if it's cell phones, they probably have like four different brands, one carrier, and probably they're all smartphones, and there's no flip phones. Whereas Japan still has to, I don't know, legally or just by choice, has to cater to some of these all their clients, and they have a huge variety of selection, and many of them are not smartphones. Yeah.
I see. There's, I know that the ministry and the government is trying to get the kids to learn coding at the grade school, and I think starting in a few years. And do you think it's going to change? Do you think that will help?
So I'm excited about this as much as I'm terrified. The excitement comes because there's a mandate by 2020 to have all shogakusei start learning coding, and that kind of mandate could create a very high computer literate society that can maybe change Japan. But my big fear comes from the how they do this. English being mandated as a compulsory language, second language, has not made Japan bilingual. It's been years, and in fact there's even an allergic reaction to having to learn English because they were just forced down their throats. So unless this is done right, I have a fear that the same thing could happen with coding. People not understand, children not understanding why it's needed. The staff that's teaching is not qualified or don't have the experience. So that is my biggest concern. But it has the potential to change Japan if done right. Which generation or which age group or what kind of people do you want to appeal to make a change? So our school too addresses the adult market right now, and the reason we are going after the adults first is I think these are the people who can make the most impact right now. So if we can transform and teach and elevate the engineering levels of Japan, then of this group, we are talking about between 25 and 35 age group, then I think that will be the biggest immediate impact. But we definitely, I think it has to be a holistic approach. We have to go down all the way down. And we're starting to look at maybe working more with colleges too, and then making sure that they also get a sound education in computer software engineering. And then slowly go down the chain.
I see. I just went to Tel Aviv, and they learned also the things, when they were in high school.
Yeah.
It's nothing new.
Yeah.
I mean, they all of them are so equipped,
Yeah.
and it's a part of their education. So I'm just I'm not really sure why it's being done that way there, whereas it can't be done here.
Yeah. I think it definitely can be done.
What would be the biggest obstacles not to make it happen here?
So I today spoke to someone, and the person educated me, but I understand that even textbooks need to be approved textbooks by the government.
Right.
So these are fundamental things that need to change. If you're not allowed for creative schools to come up with creative ways to disrupt education and try new things, I don't think much will change.
I see. Okay. Well, we'll see what we could do today with all these people.
Cool.
So thank you very much.
No, thank you very much.